Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome back, Agents and Thrivers, family caregivers. Welcome back to Lana's Little Things with me, Dr. Lana, specialist dermatologist. We've done challenges. We are in 2026, new year. It's only 17 days old. We got lots of time. So, what I wanted to start this year off with is we're going to be positive, the attitude, we're going to be positive, we're going to live, we're going to deal with whatever comes, and we're going to use our affirmations, and we're going to seek support, we're going to ask for help, where you may not have done before. I'm notorious, we all are as caregivers, for not asking for help. True? Okay. But as far as it relates to bridging generational gaps, improving family caregiving relationships, that's what we're going to focus on for 2026. And I invite you to join on my journey. Like and subscribe, share with a friend. Be sure to let everybody you know. Just we're changing the conversation. We need to change the conversation on aging and what it means to be an older person. Where you say living agelessly, but what does that mean? What we're going to talk tonight, well, for me tonight, for you, wherever you are, it could be day or afternoon. Is it still snowing by you? That'll be nice. It's still very cold here in Barbados, but but I like it. It's great. So, the word we're going to talk about tonight, today, this time, is senility. The word senile. Have you ever thought about that? I mean, it seems so basic. What, where does that come from? And why did we not talk about it before? We talked so much about dementia. I haven't actually scored into this word senile. So I thought I'll start with, let's just go, what do you call it? Not brown basics, ground basics, just this ground level talk. And start with, we're going to cover at least 3 to 4, maybe a bonus topic. What does senile actually mean? Why is it considered outdated? Why can it be considered offensive? What can be used instead of it? What terms can we use instead of it? And also, how does it relate to what we use now? So actually, it's 5. But we're going to get through it, not to worry. So, where does the word see now? Can you remember growing up? Well, I remember growing up. And even now, it's still being used. But we want to get rid of that word. Senile was used, okay, to describe mental decline. They're not remembering as well, and they're getting worse and worse. So and so, Miss Johnson, she's senile. She can't remember anything. She forgot the list at the supermarket. She forgot the stove on. She can't remember anybody's names. She's going senile, or she's senile. Oh boy, if I had $1 for every time I've heard. Growing up hearing that, it was the norm. No, no. This is now vague, it's outdated, and it's insulting. And it creates stigma, which creates discrimination, which creates ageism, which breaks gaps and burns bridges. And that is why we don't want to use it. It doesn't help with building teams to help support families and those who deal with persons with dementia. So, okay, there's that. So, we ain't using that word anymore. Not doctors, not people, not family caregivers, nobody. We're advised we're not using that word anymore. Okay, so what else can we? Why is we dealt with? Why it's considered insulting? All right, well you gotta give me something to use in terms of that. So what else can be used in terms instead of the word instead of the word senile. Okay, so that's kind of a long one, but what I'll do is kind of break it down from the research that I've gotten. There words that let's just see what words indicate in terms of senile: forgetfulness, confusion, poor judgment, personality changes, especially in older persons, a decline that gradually comes. And the brain slows down, brain activity, brain connections, they do slow down during older age, but aging is not a disease. Remember, I say that a gazillion times. So, and most older persons will tell you, I might forget here and there, but I ain't gone yet. Don't take me out yet. But it comes with societal talk. We talk about old bag. We talk about, you know, that we just brush it off. That person's just senile. So it means it carries the impression that they're of no more use. Is that true? Absolutely not. How much wisdom is there? Even if they may have early memory impairment, how much wisdom is in those years? So, the updated version as of 2025, which is just a few weeks ago, we are going to consider that outdated and we're going to replace it. We're going to replace it with, instead of vague terms, we're going to replace it with appropriate terms and we'll say what to use. So, senile is vague and non-specific. It doesn't tell you anything about the person. It just says, oh, they're no more use. We said stigma. So it suggests that they're useless to do anything. Go to the supermarket, pay a bill, answer the phone even. Bathe, dress themselves. Can you imagine the indignity that brings? No. So we need to replace them with more accurate terms. We've got so much research now. We've got to replace it with the more appropriate terms. And we've been learning as physicians, we've been learning as a group, global community, we know better. We know better, we do better. Okay. So we're going to use words such as, well, not just the vague dementia, because that's just the umbrella term. We we go to the doctor and we separate it. It's some type of dementia. It's Alzheimer's disease, the most common. Vascular, we've heard a lot about frontotemporal dementia, which has to do with really early onset, especially in males, and it impairs their ability to communicate. Those things, or even something like mild cognitive impairment, MCI for short. So it sounds like, oh, they just have a little something. They're not like out in the waiting room, passenger room waiting to fly away. It's also dismissive. So we're not using that dismissive term. Because that can also mask real conditions and prevent the person and family, because of shame and stigma, from going to the physician. And we need to have, if we go as a team, we talk as a team, we get better at associating, we bridge our gaps, and persons can live with dignity and age with dignity, like fine wine, I always say. All right. So, what do you say instead? This is number 4. What can you say instead? Okay. Forgetfulness. In lay terms, you can just say there's some memory loss. That doesn't sound like a disaster. How many times have you forgotten your keys? Why forget my keys in the car, in the house? You know, times that I'm not cognitively impaired. Sometimes you forget, oh, breakfast. Does that make you say no? Of course not. So, but as an older person, if it progresses and it lasts longer, let's just use a simple term of memory loss. We gotta investigate it. Something that has a broader change and is more uh, deeply involved is cognitive decline. The doctor will more use that term. Then, when our memory problems are getting more progressive, we use mild cognitive impairment, or MCI. Dementia is a global umbrella term for all types of those diseases, disorders of the brain, with aging, with other unknown environmental. We're still doing the research, but it's the umbrella term. So, dementia of the Alzheimer's type, dementia of the FTD type, dementia of the Lewy body type, those sorts of things. That's what we're going to. We need to give it a name, a significance, an importance, not a label. but something that says we're going to work on this and we're going to work on it as a team, family, caregiver, physician, and the entire team involved. All right. It implies hope if memory change the terms because the person is not like, oh, well, I've forgotten, I can forget more, and then I'll forget till I even forget myself, and then that's that. And it makes that the older person feel dismissed, and that's where it leads to so much depression, withdrawal, apathy, and worse, dementia, because no one's talking to them, no one's interacting, sometimes not even a doctor or a nurse. And that is so sad. Everyone deserves, each of us want our dignity. Don't older persons want their dignity? Don't they deserve it? Is aging like something that you catch? No, we're all gonna are getting older unless we pass on. Do you want to pass on early? No. So we want to live a life of dignity. Let's use neutral descriptive language. Mom is having a little bit of problems remembering. We, these things come as opposed to, well, mom's senile now, so no, we're not using that. Remember, it also shapes how the person sees themselves. And then if we use positive terms, then they don't feel as hopeless. So we're going to just talk about, we said we're going to use alternate words. And we're going to, some of the dots will use, but somehow I think you can try this one. All right. So just, this is a reminder, maybe a summary, maybe whatever you call it. Any other term, you can always let me know. If this was helpful, please share with a friend, like, and subscribe. So I'm going to summarize it. We will no longer use the term senile for 2026 going forward. Deal? Deal. Difference is the reasons were given. So instead of senile, we're not medical. That's not medical precise. We're not going to use that. Dementia is a clinical condition involving cognitive decline, but it's broad, and we want to actually define to find what the actual type is so we can deal with it. You can say early stage memory issues, just a little trouble forgetting, a little more trouble forgetting, or a stage of Alzheimer's, which of the dementia of the Alzheimer's type. And that is between also you and your family and anybody else close in the team. That's not for all and sundry. That's not for somebody who meets you at the supermarket. How's mom? Well, she's got dementia of the Alzheimer's, or she has the Lewy body, or she has the FTD. That's nobody's business. That deprives them of their dignity. If you're going outdoors and you want your older one, loved one, even if it's early onset, to live, to be, to have dignity, to want to live. My word, to want to live. Let's use more positive terms this year. From my heart to yours. Tell me what word you're gonna use. Tell me what phrase applies to your loved one. Make sure you discuss it with your physician. And welcome to 2026. From my heart to yours, Doctor has been saying we're going positive this year from the beginning. Mwah.